What's up, YouTube? Well, said I would do a review on the update on the navigation to see if it's any different. Nope. The only main difference, you can't see it on that anyway, but because there's nothing there. It actually shows gas stations, you know, restaurants, stuff like that. That's really the only main difference. That's what it should have had from the beginning, is that ability to, like, okay, see here, we got a gas station coming up. You know, other than that, you can just do the regular buttons. Nothing seems all that special about it. Unfortunately, you still can't access it while you're going. The menu's locked. You know, which I understand that completely. It's a huge liability thing for Honda. Yeah, well, he took his hands off the steering wheel or the handlebars to access the navigation system and crashed, and they got sued. So, not much you can do there. But at least they show up. That's kind of nice when you're out in the middle of nowhere and your phone doesn't work, you know, because now that I have Apple CarPlay with Google Maps, that's really nice too. It's a good feature. But unfortunately, it's got a little plus sign next to it, but like there's no way to. It'd be nice if you could just hover, you know, like use the directional control to like move that move your cursor around. You know, like click on that or highlight that gas station, so if you see it on your map, you zoom out, you like see it on your map, oh great, it's 10 miles away, and you know, hover over it and then click it, and it would just give you directions. So that would be a kind of cool feature which you could do here. But you can't. That's pretty close. It's that Caloosahatchee River, in case you care. Once I'm on the subject, I had a question asked about a flat spot in the power band of this bike. I haven't really given it much thought. So they said it's like 2,500 RPM. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I wasn't planning on doing this part today. But 2,500 RPM up to about 4,000, if I remember right. So we'll experiment with that. Feel much of a flat spot there. The one thing I will say, I think it's more the gearing issue. The old bike, you know, the 5-speed had just a different gear ratio altogether, and that thing in first and second gear pulled like a tractor. I mean, this one's a little bit lighter in first or higher. It doesn't quite have that tractor pull. So I went that way once. So, you know, 2,500 and 4th. Let's see if we got any. That's full on. Let's see, 8 and 4, 45. It pretty much just pulls straight up. I mean, in 4th gear. front end up. I don't see much of a of a flat spot, but yeah, I did lift the front end up twice. And if you probably, when you play it back, look right there, you're going to see the traction control because the rear wheel is just not gripping. So, what do I think of the power? I think it's fine, because the old bike, when I popped it like that in second gear, you could lift up the front end a little bit, but this one definitely was a little bit more. I mean, I had the front end, it was probably up maybe that much, but you know, it definitely was off the ground. So, yeah, there you go. So that's the flat spot. Now, I have noticed, like, you do have to, like, on the 6-speed manual, you know, you have to downshift more than, say, you did the old bike, because that, yeah, if you're in 5th gear, you could just roll it and it would go. This one, it rolls, doesn't have quite the same power, but, like, in 5th, it's flat to about 35, and then it kind of starts to wind up a bit. I don't think that's a motor thing, that's more the gearing and just where they got the torque band and that horsepower band meeting up. So there you go. Let's do it one more time. I'm gonna just do a roller in second. Nice thing is, out here there's hardly any cops ever, and if there are, it's state troopers. And so let's roller down. Okay, there's about 1800 RPM. When you get into the higher gears, it definitely does slack off a bit. And that's in tour mode. I guess I could try one in sport mode. Why not? Yeah, that's one thing. In upper gears in this, you know, when you got to downshift if you want to get that torque going. But yeah, you should feel this thing just, it rises up pretty good when you're alright, now we're in sporty. Alright, there we go. Wasn't really watching the speedometer. I'll have to watch that when we come back and watch the video again. And quite honestly, it really didn't feel a huge difference in the way the bike felt. Actually, it felt just as strong in touring as it did sport. It probably makes a huge difference on the DCT though, because it changes that gear shift ratio. But when you're in control of the bike, you're still going to have the same amount of power. You control the gearing. So one of the reasons I went with the 6-speed. But I don't know. We'll play it back and we'll see how it looks a little later.